The purpose of these lessons is to show you the logic behind the most basic Chinese characters, beginning with the simplest pictograms, and later combining these elements to create more complex characters. Today's lesson introduces 9 characters, all but one of which contain the drawing of a man turning suddenly around to look a person full in the face. Glaring defiantly. It means defiance and anger. And is pronounced fourth tone. Gun, gun. In ancient Chinese, 8 of today's characters were originally represented by this single ideogram, but they later split off by adding various radicals to define different aspects of this angry defiance. The original gun character is rarely used nowadays except for divination purposes. So our first useful character is created by adding the upright heart radical to express hatred, resentment. It's pronounced fourth tone. 恨, 恨. 他恨我，说我抢走了他的女朋友。He hates me. He says I stole his girlfriend. A more complete expression for hatred is pairing it with 憎 from our last lesson number 45. 憎恨。他能力好，没话说。我憎恨他不守时。Her ability is beyond reproach. What I hate is she's never on time. And something you hate or regret to have experienced is 恨事。必须坐轮椅是我一生的恨事。Being confined to a wheelchair is the thing I hate most in my life. In English, the word hate often means something more akin to regret, as when we say, I hate to tell you this, but you're wrong. If it was true hate, I would probably keep my mouth shut. Hate here more accurately means I regret. I'm sorry that I have to tell you this, but you're wrong. As in English, so it is in Chinese. The common expression 恨不得 means you regret not being able to do something. You wish you could do it. Here are 3 examples. 我恨不得好好的骂他。Oh, how I wanted to rake him over the coals, right then and there. 父母恨不得他成天努力念书。His parents wish he'd devote all his time to serious study. 我哥哥恨不得马上出国念书。My brother is itching to leave right away to study abroad. The second character in this lesson that we need is 艮 with the crossroads radical. You might recall from lesson 30 that the crossroads radical usually appears as its left half and not the full drawing. So this character based on 艮 originally meant defiantly going in the opposite direction in open disregard of others, even to the point of cruelty. It's pronounced third tone, 很, 很. Over time, the meaning has mellowed considerably, because today it simply means very much or to a great extent. If that sounds implausible, recall that the English word terrible used to mean able to cause terror, as in, it was a terrible accident. But in modern English, it also simply means very, as in, I'm terribly sorry. It's no surprise, therefore, that Chinese has done the same by softening the meaning of 很 to make it a simple intensifier in conversation. Up to this point, I've been using 好 as an intensifying adverb, although 很 is even more common. 我很想吃个面. I really feel like having noodles today. 家父很可能需要动手术. It's very possible that my father will need an operation. 很 can sometimes follow its adjective with the to show degree. 不要小看人家，他的英文好得很. Don't underestimate people. Her English is excellent. Our third character today, again, is based on 跟, looking backward, but this time minus the defiant attitude. It has been paired with the foot and knee radical from lesson 5. And it's pronounced first time, 跟, 跟. As a noun, it means the back of the foot, the heel, and as a verb, to follow on the heels of someone. 你不努力，就会跟不上其他人. Without effort on your part, you'll never catch up with the others. The opposite would be 跟得上. 我可不可以跟你们去? Can I go with you? 我从来不跟他家人来往. I never have anything to do with his family. Possibly because they don't have a favorable opinion of me. 我有话要跟你说. I have something I want to say to you. Depending on the tone of voice, that could either be a marriage proposal or a severe dressing down. And lastly, 跟 can simply mean and, one of the many ways to render this conjunction in Mandarin. 我跟他是很要好的朋友. He and I are very good friends. Notice the new expression 要好, meaning to be on good terms with, be close friends with. The fourth character in today's lesson is 根, paired with the wood or tree radical. Also pronounced first tone, 根, 根. It means the roots of a tree or plant. Chinese dictionaries make every effort to reconcile what appears to be arbitrary combinations of elements to explain how a phonetic contributes to the meaning. And this character is a fine example. My unabridged Chinese dictionary states that the roots of a tree defiantly grow down into the earth in opposition to the trunk, which grows skyward. Make of that what you will, if it helps to fix the character in your memory. Anyway, this new character is useful for more than just plant roots. As roots tend to be long, thin, and stringy, it's also the measure word for long, slender objects such as pencils, cigarettes, string, strands of hair, and in this case, a blade of grass. 一根草. Be careful, the root of a grass plant would be reversed. 草根. An even better phrase is two roots together. 根本, which means basic, fundamental, thoroughly, all the way down to the roots. When a negative is added, it means not at all, definitely not, absolutely not. 她根本不会吃. She definitely will not eat it. Or, she doesn't know how to eat it. 3个月内根本不能出货. It's absolutely impossible to ship the goods within 3 months. The fifth character in this lesson is the steps on a hill or mountainside radical that we saw in lesson 42, plus 根. It's pronounced fourth tone, 限, and means limit, boundary, or restriction. The composition of the character tells us that the man has stopped dead in his tracks to look behind, neither going forward nor backward, as the mountain is blocking his way. Here are some examples. 你有一封限时信. You have a prompt delivery letter. 时间有限. 我们马上走. We have a limited amount of time. Let's leave immediately. 电脑就是有，也很有限. Even if we have computers, the number will be very limited. 问问题限定在1个小时之内. Asking questions is limited to 1 hour or less. Our sixth character is composed of the I radical, 木, paired with 更. Pronounced third tone, 言, 更 as phonetic may not seem convincing here, but the points of articulation of G and Y in the mouth are actually close. For an English example, gold is related to yellow, both in sound and meaning. Anyway, 眼 means the human eye, or possibly the eye of a needle, or a buttonhole. My Chinese dictionary attempts to rationalize how 更 contributes to the meaning, explaining that 更 is a man face to face with another, just as our two eyes are positioned one opposite the other. Far-fetched? Maybe, but if it helps to fix the character in our memory, let's use it. Now for some examples. I said that 花 in lesson 43 not only means flowers, but also multicolored, anything in profusion, such as sparks, lights, or snowflakes, which then becomes an apt description of blurry vision. 看书太久，我眼就花了. If I read too long, my vision gets blurry. 你能正眼看我，说人不是你打的吗? Can you look me in the eye and say you did not hit him? 我买的花束，女友也不看一眼. I bought flowers, but my girlfriend didn't even look at them. She is obviously very upset with me. When a person wants to show their disapproval, they often resort to giving us a dirty look, meaning they open their eyes wide with an angry facial expression. 白我们的眼，我想多吃一个，妈妈白了我一眼. I wanted to eat another one, and Mom gave me an angry look. The translation for the naked eye is 肉眼 in Chinese, literally the flesh eye. 玉的手工很差，肉眼也看得出来. You can tell with the naked eye that the jade workmanship is of poor quality. The expression 眼看 means something is going to happen soon. We can see it approaching. 你不想回家吗？眼看天就要亮了. Don't you want to go home? It'll be daylight soon. These folks have overstayed their welcome. Now we have a more abstract expression, 心眼, literally the eye of the heart, meaning something deep within one's heart or mind, which can be translated in many different ways in English. Some people prefer to add the Beijing R sound at the end and say 心眼儿. 他心眼很好，说我可以寄宿他家. She's really understanding, saying I can stay at her house. In other words, she has a good, compassionate heart. 你太没心眼， 动不动就中男人的计。You're too trusting when it comes to men, constantly falling for their tricks. In other words, her heart harbors no wariness towards people. She's careless in that respect. The seventh character in today's lesson combines the phonetic 根 with the metal radical 金 that we first encountered in lesson 42. And is pronounced second tone. Yin, yin. My unabridged Chinese dictionary says that gold and silver were both simply referred to as gold in ancient Chinese. Yellow gold and white gold standing side by side, much like a man face to face with another. So the phonetic 根 was chosen to represent this juxtaposition. Now we have the characters for a bank. 银行, literally a silver shop. A central bank is 央行, which is actually an abbreviation of 中央银行. A banker, naturally, is 银行家. The Milky Way in Mandarin is called the Silver Stream, 银河. If we really want to talk about banking, we need at least one new character, our last one in this lesson. Actually, we've seen it before as part of the character 仓. It's one side of a door and represents a house, a family. And is pronounced fourth tone. 户, hu. Hu can also represent a person or entity that metaphorically resides at the bank in the form of the owner of an account, written 户头. 户头内的本金有多少? How much is the principal in my account? Note that the principal, 本金, is the original amount in a bank account or insurance policy, minus any interest. 我想在一家银行开个户. I'm thinking about opening an account at a bank. The full expression 开一个户头 is often shortened to simply 开个户. Since 户 really means a door, it can be used to say indoors or outdoors. 小朋友不可以在户内玩水枪. Children may not play with their squirt guns indoors. 他在户外骑马很开心. She is very happy horseback riding in the great outdoors. And this leads to another four-character idiom. 足不出户. Literally, the feet don't go outdoors. 若没有必需品要买, 我是足不出户. If there aren't any necessities to buy, I never leave the house. 有了电脑, 人就能足不出户买东西. With computers, people can do their shopping without leaving home. 足不出户也可以跟好友会面. Even without stepping outside, you can still meet up with your friends. And now we have the double expression, 家家户户, meaning every household. 天气好, 家家户户在外面吃东西. With such nice weather, every household was eating outside. 家家户户得负责门口外面的卫生. Every household is responsible for keeping their doorway clean and sanitary. Here is our color chart with today's 9 characters. 更, 跟, 很, 隐, 跟, 恨, 眼, 线, and 户. here's the takeaway from today's lesson. 1. All but one of the 9 characters in this lesson are composed of a man whirling around to defiantly confront the person behind him. From this single ideogram, at least 7 other characters have been derived. The first one, incorporating the upright heart radical to indicate hatred. Expressions include hatred, 憎恨, a hated experience, 恨事, and a phrase indicating regret at not being able to accomplish something, 恨不得. 2. By adding the crossroads radical, we arrive at the character 狠, originally meaning defiantly, going in the opposite direction in blatant disregard of others. In modern Mandarin, it has softened until it simply serves as an intensifier, meaning very much. The English adverbs terribly, awfully, and dreadfully have undergone this same process. 3. With the foot and knee radical, we have the character 跟, meaning to follow on the heels of someone. In addition to the extended meanings of the preposition with, plus the conjunction and. 你跟我, you and me. 4. The tree radical combined with 根 is another first tone character, 根, meaning the roots of a plant. It also serves as a measure word for long, slender objects. 根本 is an emphatic expression meaning thoroughly, fundamentally, absolutely. 5. The hillside radical, representing a mountain, appears alongside our defiant man element to indicate a boundary or restriction, because the man, in his defiance, no longer moves forward and is unable to move backward. Useful expressions include limited time, 时间有限, and restricted to, 限定. 6. The huge glaring eyeball of 根 also gives us the character 眼 for the eye or any small opening. Common phrases include blurry eyesight, 眼花了, take a look, 看一眼, glare in disapproval, 白他一眼, the naked eye, 肉眼, soon, 眼看, and deep down in one's heart, 心眼. 7. With the introduction of silver, 银, we needed a character that often appears with it and is easily recognizable. So I added 户, one half of the pictogram for door, 门. Hu头 refers to a bank account, which can be opened, 开户头, just as in English. Indoors and outdoors are 户内 and 户外. To say a person never leaves their house, a real homebody, the idiom 足不出户 expresses this succinctly. And finally, to lump all households together, the idiom 家家户户 can be used. Now you will find a short quiz on double, triple character, and longer expressions. Answer using only the characters learned so far. Thank you for watching and listening.